Hey, so this is the new video. I I had another video for this, but for this specific topic, but I just want to redo it because that other video went on for like 35 minutes, and I think I can make it shorter than that. And I got what's it called? I got sidetracked a lot in that video, like a lot, to the point where it's 35 minutes long instead of like 12 minutes, like the other video on this channel. So, what is the topic for today's video? Topic is something that's been happening in the past few months as of me recording this video. It's it's about retiring YouTubers. So retiring YouTubers, it basically means that a lot of YouTubers they're retiring. Some are some are retiring from full time. Some are just like some are doing these weird retire things where they're saying they're retiring, but when you actually watch the video, they're like, I'm retiring from YouTube full time. It's only a part time thing. Like if you're gonna say you're retiring, just say you're retiring. Or if you're gonna say um I'm partly retiring from YouTube, just put that in the title. I don't get why they need to. Well, I get it. I get it. They need to get views. I not need to get views, but that's like sort of the natural thing on YouTube is this thing called clickbait, where they I don't believe I need to. No, never mind. Clickbait is basically where they put something that's maybe technically in the video, but like not really. And there are extreme forms of clickbait where like the video is something entirely different from what they said it would be. But a lot of times clickbait these days, they're just slightly, how do I put it? Clickbait is just slightly off from what the actual video is. So they'll say I'm retiring, and yeah, they're technically retiring, but they're just they're actually retiring from YouTube full time, or they're retiring from their actual job to do YouTube full time. So it's a lack of information that, while I would like to believe that that's just like a they don't mean to be deception, not deception, they don't mean to be deceptive with that, but hmm, I've been on YouTube for like a few years now, and that's been constantly happening with a lot of YouTubers where they clickbait titles. And it's like at this point, it seems like it's become a natural thing to be deceptive in the titles to get people to click. And I honestly don't really know how to feel about that. Maybe I'll make an entire video on that subject in the future, but back to what I was originally talking about, which is retiring YouTubers. It's something that's relatively new because YouTubers have only been around for so long when compared to other careers, and it's not really it's not common to see a YouTuber retire. Now, notice I said to see a YouTuber retire because a lot of YouTubers retire first day. It's just they're not popular enough for that to gain for that to gain views, or they just give up. One day they're uploading, and the next day they're not. Some YouTubers retire before they upload a single video. They get their videos or all organized, and then they don't upload it because, well, I'm not going to claim to know exactly why, but I believe it's because a lot of them, they're afraid that it won't do well, or it, it's they're afraid of something. They're afraid of something that will go wrong, essentially, in their minds, and so that stops them from doing it altogether, which is kind of sad when you when you think about it. But So retiring publicly with a large follower base, now that's something new that's been happening recently because YouTubers like MatPat, Tom Scott, um and a few other YouTubers. I don't know too much about the other ones, but a few other YouTubers, they've been retiring recently. Mostly, it seems like it's mostly because of this thing called work-life balance. And while Tom Scott, I'm not sure exactly why. I haven't I watched this video like a few months ago, so I don't have that like stored in my mind. But I know that one thing he said was that he was sort of planning on that. He was planning on retiring after he got to a certain point in his YouTube, and he got to a certain point to his in. Dag, no, let me figure out how to speak English real quick. But got a certain point in his got to a certain point in his career, and he was planning on retiring after that. And so that's fine. I'm not saying that anything that YouTubers retiring is a bad thing, but it certainly leaves a bittersweet taste in your mouth. It's like, imagine you grew up with a YouTuber like Tom Scott or MatPat, otherwise known as Game Theory, Film Theory, Food Theory, and Style Theory. He has 4 channels. But imagine if you grew up with those people, and then they just um how do I put this? They announce one day that they're going to be retiring. And it's like a lot of people, it's how do I put this? Because it's not necessarily like a like they're stuck. I mean, people they get sad about it, then they move on, but YouTubers, they tend to, you never really see a YouTuber retiring. That's a rare thing. And so when a YouTuber retires, it's shocking. And especially when they haven't said anything ahead of time. Now, Tom Scott, he said that ahead of time that he was going to be retiring. He said that like a year before he actually retired. I didn't catch that since I'm one of his more recent fans. I think I've been here like since around 6 months. Been watching his videos around 6 months ago. So yeah, I didn't really catch that he was going to be retiring. But when he did, it was like, oh snap. Okay, well, at least he had the whole helicopter off into the sunset thing. Y'all should watch that video. That was that was crazy how he did that. Um, but I feel like we should learn from these YouTubers because it seems like some YouTubers they stop uploading videos because they've lost their work life balance, and I believe that's what happened with MatPat from Game Theory, Film Theory, all that stuff. Is that he he likes making videos, he likes making theories and stuff like that, but it's just he can't really talk to his family, his friends and stuff without worrying about um like work. And I've seen this happen a few other times before where people are just like, oh man, they feel guilty because they're not turning something that they're doing into a YouTube video, and they're like they're how do I put this? They're thinking that everything that they do needs to be content. And I can understand how they get to that sort of thinking, but it's not true. You don't have to make everything in your life content. And something that I've heard from popular YouTuber, his name is Myron Golden. Something I've heard from him is that you your life is already content. You just need to turn the camera on and film it. So that's sort of, it's like, I can understand how people could also come to the conclusion that they need to film every everything in their life, and they feel like, I absolutely have to film this or else I'm going to fall off, or people aren't going to watch my content anymore, YouTube won't recommend me, all this stuff. And they get, seems like they get in their own heads, and it's not entirely their fault, because YouTube, from what I've heard, YouTube can be pretty brutal sometimes. If you don't upload consistently, they ain't gonna recommend you, because the whole point of YouTube is to have people watching. And if you're not uploading anything, people aren't watching, and so they're not going to recommend you anymore. So that's there also. But the thing is, I believe that YouTube shouldn't be treated as a full-time job. I'm sure it's helped a lot of people. They've gotten rich off of doing YouTube, doing things that they love, and that's great. That's wonderful. But I personally would not recommend it being a full-time job. Now, I'm a pretty young person, pretty young dude, so you can take this with a grain of salt. I'm pretty young, and I'm pretty new to this YouTube thing too. But I feel like if if you make YouTube into a full-time job, that just puts a lot of extra stress on you. Now you're thinking of it as a full-time job. You gotta upload a certain amount of times each each um each month, each year. And if you don't do that, then you won't get the money you need. Especially if that's your only job, that's terrible. So yeah, you shouldn't have YouTube as a full-time job because of all those reasons. And I think it's more so, I think YouTube is better as a, not necessarily a side hustle, but more so a hobby. Um, and this is all just my opinion. Just I know I've probably said that before, but I just want to make sure y'all know this is my opinion. This is not the gospel. So I think YouTube should just be a hobby, because if you put too much put too much weight on it, then you'll start to feel that weight on your back, metaphorically speaking. And then you'll be like, oh man, I gotta do this, that, and the third. And then eventually, after such and such amount of time, you'll get tired, and you'll either want to take a break, which is fine, or retire, which is also fine. But the thing is, that could all be avoided. I think that all could be avoided as long as you don't treat it like a full-time job. Now, when you treat it like a full-time job, then that's when you need to take breaks from it. Because like, if you were doing something fun, like, it's so weird when you're doing something fun, you could stay up mad late in the night and not be tired. I trust me, I know. I play games. It's you end up staying up really late. It might become a problem sometimes. But why is that person sleeping? Oh, okay. But so the might be a problem sometimes. Uh, but yeah, when you're having fun, you don't have to take too many breaks from it. It's like, um, that saying where it says time flies when you're having fun. It's kind of similar to that. when you're having fun making YouTube videos, you don't necessarily need to take a whole bunch of breaks from it. But at the same time, even if you are having fun, like, it still is like making a video. Making a video is it's work. Don't get me wrong, but you have more energy when you don't treat it like work. Yeah, so that's what I believe. I can't remember exactly what I said at the beginning of this, but that's what I believe is the main problem with YouTubers these days. They focus too much on treating it like a job, and so it becomes a job. And with my YouTube channel, I plan to treat it like well, it's just I want to be committed to my YouTube channel, but I also don't want to be so stuck to it. So how do I put this? I don't want it to become a career. I want this to be more of a hey, here's this cool thing I did type of thing. And I want to do that at least once every month. Why I'm doing that, you can watch my past video to figure out that. Yeah, I'm gonna get some extra views there. But yeah, why I'm doing that, you can just watch the past video or whatever order it is. I'm not sure which order I'm going to be uploading these videos in. But it's another video where I talk about the point of this channel. But back to the actual point of this video. I think it'd be a good idea. It would be a good idea to learn from these YouTubers who are retiring, learn why they're retiring, and depending on what you plan to do on YouTube, either follow what they're doing, or don't follow what they're doing, because it's not bad to retire. In fact, sometimes it can be good to retire, but that's not like I'm not going to set it up so that it feels like I need to retire in the first place. That's why I'm going to be so chill about my upload schedule. I want to upload at least once a month, but hey, if I want to upload more than that, sure, that's fine too. If I don't want to upload any more than that, that's fine. I don't want to be so, and I don't have a specific date where I need to upload. It's just going to be once a month, whether it's the end of the month, the beginning of the month, just once a month. Because I know that I know from the experience that other people have had that if I make this into something that I have to do within a set period of time, such and such, well, I kind of have to do it within a set period of time, but that's very, very loose period of time for me. 1 month, I can get something out in 1 month. But if I make it too strict on myself, basically what I'm saying is, if I make it too strict on myself, then I won't really be able to do it, because that's when the whole thing with the overthinking it starts happening. Then you start overthinking it, and you're like, oh man, oh man, I can't get this done. Who's he? But I can't get this done, and like everything's gonna fall apart once I touch it. Type of mindset. That's when that mindset starts creeping up in your mind when you're too strict. Now, there are certain times where that mindset will creep up and you're not being too strict. That's just anxiety. That happens to everybody. Um, happens to everybody, and that's completely normal. Don't even worry about it. Just say, hey, that's a good thought. Well, not necessarily good thought, but that's a thought you had, brain. I'm gonna ignore it now and move on with your life. But when you that it can also be a thing when you're too strict on your schedules. But that's going off topic. Back to what I was talking about, because I sure do love to go off topic in these videos. So yeah, definitely learn from those YouTubers, and make sure you know what applies to you, what doesn't. I'm not saying like oh, the rules don't matter for you. No, no, no. There are some pretty universal rules. You need to figure those ones out. But the ones that aren't universal, figure out figure out if they are figure out if they are relevant to you, and then you can make a decision based off of that. And the last thing I want to say for this video is for any for any of those YouTubers who are retiring, I just want to say thank you. If you're somehow watching this video, thank you, because you've done something that I want to do, which is inspire people. You've inspired me and many other people on this platform to get into YouTube, see what this whole YouTube thing is about, or even depending on your specific genres and your specific styles, use awful. Okay, I'm making new words in the English language. That's just I'm just cool like that. But you've also you've also inspired people to just be more. How do I put this? Be more creative. Be more involved with their life. There's so many things that you've inspired people to do because you decided, like, for example, MatPat decided to make film game theory videos all those years ago. That's affected so many people, been a part of so many people's childhoods, and that's a wonderful thing. So thank you to all of the YouTubers retiring. That's about it for this video. I just wanted to put my 2 cents on what I think about YouTube. I mean, what I think about YouTubers retiring. Now, I went off subject a few times, but I think I got my main point across. So, I'll see you guys next time.